Good morning, students. We are discussing about the chapter elements, compounds and chemical equations. In my last video we have discussed about the elements and symbols of elements. Now we are discussion about the molecules. Molecules are the substances which are formed by combining two or more elements. When two or more same kind of atoms are combined, then it is forming molecule of element. And if two or more different kind of atoms combine together, they will form molecules of compound. Example CO2, H2O, etc. Next we are going to discuss about the atomicity. Atomicity defines about the number of atoms present in its molecule. Number of an element present in its molecule. For example, diatomic, triatomic, tetraatomic, polyatomic are there. So, example of diatomic is O2, which is having 2 oxygen atoms. Ozone is having 3 oxygen atoms. Next we are coming to discuss about compounds. Compound is a substance which is made up of chemical combination of 2 or more elements in fixed proportion or fixed ratio. The last line is very important. Substances made up of chemical combination of 2 or more elements in fixed proportion is known as compound. Example CO2 and water. CO2, that is carbon dioxide, always consists of 1 carbon and 2 atoms of oxygen. This is the fixed proportion. Similarly, water is having 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen. This is the fixed proportion. Only in this proportion compounds will be formed. And during formation of compounds, new substances with new properties are formed. After compounds, we are coming to the next topic, that is known as the mixtures. When 2 or more substances are put together in any proportion, having no chemical reaction takes place in between them. When 2 or more substances are put together, mixed together in any ratio, having no chemical change with no new properties are obtained, are known as mixtures. Example, mixture of different nuts, that is almond, cashew, or etc. So this is the example of mixture. And more example, salt and sand, salt water. Similarly, salt water is a mixture of water and salt which can be easily separated by heating or by evaporation process. Next we are coming to find out the difference between mixtures and compounds. Compounds are the formed by result of chemical reaction between 2 or more elements, but mixtures are formed by simple mixing of 2 or more substances. The ratio, the components of compound have a fixed ratio, but in mixtures the components may be present in any ratio. The properties of compounds are different from its constituents, but the properties of mixtures are same as that of its constituents. Compounds are always homogeneous, but mixtures may be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Compound formation is done by absorption or evolution of heat, light, energy, and may not be evolved during formation of mixture. Melting and boiling point are sharp and fixed, but melting and boiling point are not fixed. Compounds cannot be separated by physical methods, but mixtures can be separated by physical methods. So please note down these difference. at least 5 difference you should have to remember. At least minimum 5 difference you should have to remember. Next is, what is the chemical formula? It represents the composition of elements in a compound. Chemical formula represents the composition of a element in compound. For example, I am giving you the formula like water, CO2. Composition, how many elements are present? This is the composition. For example, ammonia contains 1 nitrogen atom and 3 hydrogen atoms. Similarly, carbon dioxide contains 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. Next is the valency. The combining capacity of an element is known as valency. It is the power of an atom of a single element to react and combine with particular number of atoms. For example, hydrogen has 1 valency and valency of oxygen is 2. Now I am having the valencies of some many times, many formulas, like hydrogen is having valency 1. This is the +1 or -1. You can forget this positive and negative sign. Just valency is the number, not any charge. Hydrogen is having +1 valency, sodium +1, potassium +1, lithium +1, ammonium +1. Next we come to the barium, that is +2, calcium +2, copper +2, magnesium +2. Iron +2 and +3 both can be shown. Aluminium +3. Similarly, for the negative charge, chlorine -1, bromine -1, fluorine -1, iodine -1. Hydroxide OH negative -1. Nitrate, oxide, sulfate, this is important, SO4 2 negative, या carbonate, CO3 2 negative. So carbonate CO3 is having 2 valency. Next we are going to prepare the formula. There are 3 steps to write a formula known as the cross multiplication rule. Write the symbols of constituent elements in that compound. For example, magnesium chloride, we want to write the formula of magnesium chloride, so write magnesium and chlorine. Similarly, one more example, carbon and carbon dioxide, that is carbon and oxygen. Write down the valencies below each element and cross multiply each other. For example, magnesium is having valency 2, magnesium is having valency 2, chlorine is having valency 1, oxygen is having valency 2 negative, and carbon is having valency 4. So when we going to cross multiply, then Mg multiply with 1, that is Mg1, and 1 can be not written. Chlorine multiplied by 2, the formula is MgCl2. Now multiply carbon with 2, then C2, and oxygen with 4, then C2O4. If valencies are divisible by common number, then simplify them. So we can divide it by 2, the formula will become CO2. This is the complete formula of compound, that is carbon dioxide and magnesium chloride. Next is the chemical reactions and equations. When there is any change in chemical properties of any substance, chemical reaction will occur. Chemical reaction will occur when there is change in chemical properties of any substance. There are 2 terms, one is the reactants, other are products. Reactants are always on left hand side and products are on right hand side. The new substances are called product. The new substances are called products, and the substances which combine or which reacts are known as reactants. Next is chemical equation. Chemical equation is the short representation of a chemical reaction using elements, symbols and formulae. So how we get the balancing of a chemical equation? Balancing of chemical equation is required to follow the law of conservation of mass. That is in the compounds. That is a definite proportion. Write the chemical equation and check number of atoms on each side, that is reactant side and product side. Reactant side you can also say that is the left hand side, LHS, left hand side, and products you can say that is are the right hand side. Products are always on the right hand side, LHS and RHS. Keeping the formula constant, multiply with the suitable number to balance the equation. Now the simple equation is Mg plus O2 will form MgO. Now what are on the left hand side? This Mg plus O2 is on left hand side, so these are known as reactants. This MgO is on the right hand side by an arrow, so MgO is the product. So the equation is Mg plus O2 will form MgO, checking the number of atoms on left hand side and right hand side. Element magnesium has one atom on reactant side and oxygen are two atoms on left hand side. On right hand side, magnesium atom is one and oxygen is also one. Now to balance the oxygen atoms, multiplying MgO by 2. The equation will become Mg plus O2 will form 2 MgO. Now the element Mg on reactant side is 1 but on product sides are 2. Oxygens are balanced. Now to balance the magnesium, multiply magnesium by 2 and the equation gets balanced, that is 2 Mg plus O2 will form 2 MgO. So this is the easiest method to balance the equation. In your books there are 4 to 5 examples to balance the equation. Try to solve them. Thanks and have a nice day.